welcome to another edition of That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. New episodes air each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. And please connect with us all across social media, facebook.com/That Business Show, where we also stream the shows via Facebook Live each and every weekday morning. So you can catch them on Facebook and also on thatbusinessnetwork.com. And then the episodes are put up onto iTunes and YouTube at the end of each week. So please subscribe and please leave a review. It helps the show grow. It helps the message of our entrepreneurs and our professionals carry out to more and more listeners and viewers with each and every review and each and every subscriber that we get for the program. Also, we'd like to hear your story too. Simply visit tbsinterview.com for more information. Today, we'll be talking with England Hall, founder of Freedom Chasers. You can learn more at this website, freedomchasers.org. So England, welcome to the program today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
So we're all after, entrepreneurship, chasing freedom, chasing that business lifestyle. And I think that's kind of the idea that you've wrapped around this business model. But I'll let you explain this to the audience. Tell us about Freedom Chasers.
Freedom Chasers is actually the first ever social networking site for entrepreneurs. Basically, everybody that wants to start a business don't have money for the courses and all that type of stuff. So what I did, I went and bought a whole bunch of them, got rights to them, and upload them on my site. I also got guides and I have contests to kind of motivate them.
Okay, you talk about contests and motivate. I see you also pay for trips for the people. Explain this, please.
Basically, what I would do is I'm going to host like a business-oriented contest, and the winners get a free round-trip ticket to anywhere in the United States they want to go, or they can just say, I'd rather have $500.
Okay, so where did the idea of the I guess, first off, the model. First off, where did this come from? You say it's a social network for entrepreneurs. When I think of social networks for entrepreneurs, I think of LinkedIn, but nothing else really comes to mind. I know LinkedIn's very broadly used, and people use that for a variety of different things. Explain the social network as you see it.
Well, you asking me, how did I think of it?
Yeah, the social network, and how is it going to come together? Is it going to be like a traditional social network, or is this just a network of people that you get together and help them learn based off of your curriculums?
No, I wanted to be something we come together and all grow.
Okay, so this is a community then that you have established. Okay, so it's not like a traditional social network where people just participate at their own will. This is a community then of people that come together based around the idea of entrepreneurship then. Am I getting that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so tell me about your background. You told me that you started a few businesses in the past. You struggled with them. They didn't succeed. But tell me a little bit about, some of the businesses that you've been involved with, and let's take away some lessons that you've learned too, and we'll continue in with the Freedom Chasers.
Well, the first thing I tried to do was sell like these credit repair ebooks. I had basically just quit my job at this credit repair place. It just wasn't for me. And fixing credit is actually pretty simple. So I thought, well, I can make some decent money just selling credit repair ebooks for $5. But man, I only sold 6 of them. But from that time, I learned that what I should have done was I should have basically put it out there before I actually wrote the book.
Right.
Marketed before. I didn't start marketing after the book was wrote. You know what I'm saying? And I think after like 3 months after I gave up, that's when I was starting to get orders for the book.
So these are credit repair books, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so credit repair books, you sold 6 of them. And I see a lot of people dabbling with credit repairs, so I think there's some money in it. I don't know, but it's one of those things that I guess you gotta do it right to be successful in. Why the credit repair ebooks? What drew you to that line of sales?
Because basically it was simple.
Explain a little bit.
It was simple, and I worked at credit repair place here in Tyler, and what they would do is people would pay $200 a month for it. So I figured like if I offered it for $5 or $10, they should definitely pay for it.
Right, and that's a mistake, that I think I see myself making sometimes is you put something so undervalued that people don't see the value in it. And you'll see a lot of times if you charge more for something, you'll get more people because they think it's going to be valuable. And so that's something that I struggle with myself when I think about pricing things. So you started and first off, where were you before this? Were you working a 9-to-5 job and looking to get into entrepreneurship and had that idea? Tell me a little bit about your background.
I had always kind of had the entrepreneur spirit when I was a kid. I was selling candy in mowing yards and stuff. But I had lost my job at Brooks' Warehouse. They fired me because I basically broke a pallet jack. So that was automatic termination. So I was just, I just went with the flow. Whatever's there was there. After I left Credit Repair, I went to Kirby selling vacuum cleaners. And
That's a tough job right there. I've had you guys show up, or not now you, but before, yeah, you guys show up at my door and stuff, and you're all some good salesmen. It's hard to get you guys to kind of go away, but tell the audience a little bit more.
But I stayed there for probably about 2 weeks, man. I really didn't want to let it go, but I had a kid that was probably about 5 months old at the time, and that's not always guaranteed money. So I ended up coming across this job called Flowers, basically just a bread plant, and I said, well, I can work here. I got to work 60 hours a week, but I mean, that's $800 to $900 a week I have, and all my benefits are with it. So I said, well, I'm going to stay at this job and try to think of something else. And that's basically what I did.
So you've had that entrepreneur mindset as a child. I know I was the same way. I remember as a kid, I was selling those Christmas cards, and there was a catalog that came like once or twice a year, and I would go to all my neighbors and I would sell those, or mowing the lawns. I definitely did that as a kid, or raking the leaves. I always had that mindset as well. But as I grew up and actually started going into work, I didn't go into entrepreneurship. I ended up working the 9-to-5 jobs. I myself worked 84 Lumber for years. I know what a pallet jack is. How do you break a pallet jack, first of all?
Man, we was on we're on incentive pay, so basically the faster you move, the more money you make. and I had ended up getting the top 20 at the plant. So hours when you jump off the pallet jack, the pallet jack supposed to keep moving. You're supposed to grab the box, put on the pallet, jump on the other side, and keep going. And for some odd reason, they just kept shooting and shot all the way to the wall. And I don't know how that happened, but it happened. They weren't trying to hear it, man.
I used to ride the pallet jacks like a skateboard. You could get on them and you can hold a little steering column, whatever. You can ride yourself all around the store and everything. But honestly, I miss those days of working in warehouses and playing with the forklifts and the pallet jacks and all the big equipment and everything. The entrepreneurship life's fun and everything, but it kind of puts you out of shape and gets you behind the desk and too much right. of the good lifestyle. I say it's like too many dinners and drinks and stuff, which is good, but right. Puts on the weight and everything, as I've experienced over the last 10 years or so. So you went on to, what was after the? First off, let's talk about Kirby, because that's interesting to me. You spent a couple of weeks there. First off, what's the mindset at that place? Because they pretty much they drop you off in a van, or they take you around neighborhoods in a van. They drop you off in the morning, and they say, we're not coming back till 5 o'clock. And so your idea is to get out of the heat, get into somebody's house at least, so you can stay cool and sell them a vacuum. Is that kind of the situation that they put you in?
Yeah, basically, man, you got it right. We riding around the neighborhood looking like some criminals in vans, man.
Yeah, because I remember years ago I was dating a girl, and I was just upstairs. We were watching a movie. It was at the beginning of the movie. Somebody knocked. She went downstairs. 2 hours later, she comes back up. The movie's nearly over, and I said, "What's going on down there?" And she said, "These people are trying to sell me a vacuum." And I was like, "Did you tell them to leave?" And she's like, "No, they're still down there." So I had to kind of go down there and be mean to them. I felt bad and everything, but I don't know. I mean, was Kirby all that it was scaled up to be? Was it that great of a vacuum in your opinion?
I mean, it's a good vacuum, but man, I don't care about cleaning that much.
Well, they put on some good technique, and they had some good salesmanship and everything. So you spent 2 weeks there, and then they moved on. Tell me after that, where did you go?
I went to Flowers, man, and that was my last job.
Flowers, selling flowers?
No, it's actually called a bread plant.
Oh, okay, that was the one that you're talking about. You're making the $800 or $900 and everything. Yeah. So, were you able to step out of that and into the world of entrepreneurship now with Freedom Chasers, or do you still maintain the other job?
No, I quit my job. I started tinting windows, man. I joined this community called TintDude.net, and that's actually somewhat of how I kind of got an idea of Freedom Chasers. Okay,
so Freedom Chasers derived in from the tinting business, and tinting, something that took off down here. I know in Florida fairly recently with some law changes and everything. That's hard work, though. Did you actually put the tint on the windows yourself?
Yeah.
How do you not get it to crinkle up? I've always wondered that.
Basically, I mean, every film is different, so every film has to get handled differently.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So the film I used, which was Express, I mean, it was perfect for me. Though the first box of film I bought, and I just stuck with it, worked for me, so I just kept it. But a lot of people say what you say, but I never experienced it.
And so you did the tent world thing, and so you're a man of multiple trades here. You're going from job to job here. Always got that mindset of entrepreneurship. I did the same thing. I went from job to job, and then I fell into real estate and fell into my radio show, which is now a podcast. Everything, but it's nice to kind of be a jack of all trades and really see the world from a few different eyes, because it really helps you appreciate the world of entrepreneurship and being your own boss. So talk to me today about how it is to be your own boss.
It feels great.
You gotta give me more than that. I mean, we know it feels great, but you gotta tell me more than that.
I mean, it's stressful at times, man. I get frustrated because things don't go my way or things move too slow, and then phones are steady ringing, social media steady binging. People want to know my advice on this. I mean, it gets hectic, man. Sometimes I just want to just sit in bed.
And so how do you handle the stress? How do you deal with that? Because I think you're a lot like me. You're used to the 9 to 5 life, and then you come into entrepreneurship, and it's a different type of, you're your own boss. And I had a hard time adjusting to that myself. So how do you deal with that though?
The thing I keep telling myself is I'm doing it for me and not for nobody else. When I die, my daughter will have something.
Well, that's a good point there, and I definitely can agree with that. I mean, there's nothing better than working for yourself, even if you're having struggles in your business. Success is always just, one step away, right around the corner. One key relationship that you make can really change your life, and I always remind people of that on the program. And hearing it today from England here with his new company here, Freedom Chasers, where you can go and get detailed business plans, join a social network of fellow entrepreneurs who can then share your mindset and help you grow within the community. And so we'll talk more about his business model and what you can get out of Freedom Chasers when we come back from the break. Again, currently talking to England Hall, who is the founder, and learn more at freedomchasers.org. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, JB Maloney, where business becomes show business. Also, keep in mind, Thursdays we do the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where we talk about my real estate business and go into depth with a variety of different real estate topics, and those shows air each and every Thursday. And it's a separate podcast up on iTunes as well. So if you're just interested in real estate related topics, search out the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0. And we also have a separate website for that, TampaBayREO.com, where you can learn all about the real estate and catch our past shows of just the real estate edition of the program there as well. Today, my guest is England Hall, founder of Freedom Chasers. Learn more at freedomchasers.org. And so, England, you've left the world of the corporate life or the 9 to 5, working for somebody else. You're your own boss now. You're learning what it's like to, wake up when you want, but you're also learning what it's like to, be hit with the stress and the problems of not being able to go to somebody when there's a problem. That's the thing that I missed, being working for somebody else, is whenever there's a problem, there's always somebody to go to. But when you're your own boss, there's nobody to go to. And so Freedom Chasers now is a community of entrepreneurs, to come together with like-minded mindsets, to learn and collaborate. Now, you said this is a coursework that you've gotten, that you've subscribed to, and that you help other leaders then, from the education. Where did the idea for this come from?
Back when I wanted to, because when I was at Flowers, basically on you have a certain time frame when you get raises. So I had to wait till I got up to at least $18 an hour before I was able to start to be able to invest my money. So because a lot of times I didn't have enough money for training or courses or whatever. So I said, well, I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only person that felt like that. So I said, well, what I should do is it should just be free to enroll and just charge them $10 a month, and they have all the courses they want. Because it's like, because nowadays everybody wants to finance everything. A lot of people don't have all the money up front, and then you paying $700 to $1,000 for a course. Then you got to pay for your permits or marketing or business cards or whatever it may be. It's a lot on somebody.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to be able to save people money.
Okay. Now the course is it a general course on entrepreneurship? Are there different paths depending on what somebody wants to do or their specialty, such as salesmanship or leadership or, financing. Tell me a little bit about the different product.
I have social media marketing agency course. It has a real estate course on there, email marketing. I just got a Snapchat marketing course and a couple finance courses.
Now, how are you growing the network with any business? Marketing and getting new people to come into your business is always a challenge. So, how are you marketing your own business and reaching new people?
I use social media and I outsource to a marketing agency.
Outsource to market. How's the marketing agency doing? I've never hired a marketing agency to do any of my business. I do a lot on social media. It has decent results, but then again, you're kind of mixed in there with all the same clutter of people and everything. So, how is the marketing agency helping to get your brand out there?
I haven't tried them yet. We will start the free trial next Wednesday.
Okay, so you're just beginning to use the marketing agency to develop this brand, to bring people into your social network. Now, this is, again, going to be a community of like-minded entrepreneurs. What is your role in the organization? Are you kind of just a facilitator or the leader? You helping other people collaborate? Explain this, please.
I never try to put myself as the expert or anything like that. I feel that we always got to keep learning. So basically, I'm going to just be learning just like they are. I don't really count myself as come to me with all your problems and I'm going to solve them for you. Basically, what I did is just stop the hassle of you don't have the time to look here or somewhere else or buy this, and basically just gave it to you all in one platform.
Now, how do you deal within the daily struggles? You mentioned they're going into that last segment, some of the frustrations, and you talked about how, you want to give something back for your daughter and everything, but it's still difficult to survive in the world of entrepreneurship. Tell me how you deal more so with that stress, not just, from the perspective of your own child, because, some entrepreneurs, don't have children. So how would you advise them, or how do you stay strong in those times? I haven't always been able to just work for myself. So when I get so stressed, we all need relaxation. So what I do, I jump in my car and I just go ride to one of my friends' house, and just put myself back in that type of feeling I had before all this stress and all this came on me. At that time, I'm not thinking about nothing. My mind is clearing out. I'm just having a good time, and then I come back to it later. I don't never just try to dwell on like that unless it's just completely necessary. Now, what has been unexpected in this entire journey? Going into business, you've been in multiple businesses before. What has been most unexpected? Did you go into business and expect it to just take off, or did you have the normal, expectations of challenges and tribulations?
Freedom Chasers basically has taught me patience. When I did everything, it was always, I'm trying to make as much money as I possibly can, as soon as possible. With Freedom Chasers, I had the mindset for a second, but then I told myself, I'd rather have 100 loyal, active users than 1,000, so basically I just move slow with it. I don't try to rush anything.
And what you're doing is developing a community, and I speak about the importance of developing a community on this program all the time, whether it's something like a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, something local, a meetup group, for instance, but building community of something that you have influence and leadership in really helps to, open the doors for other opportunities. And you'll see that, down the line as you influence and get more and more people in your sphere. What it comes down to is ultimately, making some key partnerships with some key people that really believe in you, and then, help grow and expand your business. Have you gotten to a point yet to where you think you've made any key partnerships?
I feel like I've made about a couple of them.
Tell me about those.
Basically, man, I joined this group and I had posted a request for marketing. The price he gave me, man, was just no. I was not gonna do it. But instead, what he did was he started teaching me myself how to do things. Then he actually started a new course, and he actually invited me to beta test it. And I always go to this guy if I need help with anything, and he's just always there.
And partnerships are what's going to help your business grow. And so for yourself, for listeners out there that are listening, those partnerships are key to developing, and like I said, before, developing a sphere of influence, and that's what Freedom Chasers is doing for yourself. What mindsets do you put yourself in to keep you successful, to keep you on that path? Because it's so easy to throw up your hands and say, I'm done. What mindsets do you put yourself in, or what do you do to just kind of relax? You mentioned also going to your friend's house and relaxing, but what's that mindset that you tell yourself?
I just gotta keep going. I mean, that's basically all it is. I came from where I basically worked every single day of my life in 100-some degree weather. It is just like, man, this is a lot better. I'm gonna go through my hard times, but this is a lot better. I just gotta keep moving, and it's gonna get better. And that's basically all I tell myself.
Yeah, and working in 100-degree heat definitely is a motivation to stay in the cool weather. You're down in Texas, correct?
Right.
And Texas, I know, gets very hot. I myself in Tampa, Florida, where we're dealing with 90, 95-degree weather, high humidity. Do you deal with the humidity down there like we do here in Florida?
I don't think it's bad as y'all's, but
that's the worst thing about down here in Florida is that humidity and stuff. And you step outside of the door, and then you're immediately sweating. So that enough to me is an incentive to want to be your own boss and be able to work, behind closed doors and everything inside the nice air conditioning. Although it does take its toll on the health of the person.
Right.
That's the one thing I do miss about working, a 9-to-5 job with somebody else and stuff, especially in a warehouse setting. It kind of kept me in shape, but nonetheless, you could always start a business that gets you out and about, and keeps you in shape. I kind of miss that myself, though. But it doesn't sound like you're at the point of missing of that lifestyle. Tell me.
I just left not too long ago, man. We're talking like a couple months.
And so Freedom Chasers is in its infancy here, developing, from your own mind. And so I just want to tell people, just how great it is to see entrepreneurs out there, that have the bravery and have the courage to, step outside of the box and develop, their own business. Because that's one of the missions of this program, is to get people to inspire people to step outside of the box and do something they wouldn't otherwise do. And then you start a business, start an organization, help lead others. And so it's great to see, people that have the confidence in themselves. So many people don't have the confidence in themselves to start their own business. Do you feel like you ever lacked confidence in yourself? It doesn't sound like that to me. For the people that are listening that lack confidence in themselves, what advice could you give them?
Well, I never believed in really working for nobody. I felt like if I know how to run your whole business, there's no point in me. I might well go start my own, because I know how to do everything. I just always had that mindset. But eventually, man, you're gonna have to go out there and do your own thing if that's what you want. If that's really what you want to do, because that's always gonna happen.
Right, and you also gotta learn to follow before you can lead, and I think that's a great asset that you bring to the table, because you've worked for so many different businesses, and then you understand, what it's like to work for somebody else, and you also have different skills and trade sets that have, definitely, come about because of those types of relationships. As myself, I worked in warehouse and in an industry before going into entrepreneurship, and I know I derived a lot of skills that I know a lot of lifelong entrepreneurs and professionals lack, because they never spent time in a normal man, regular man's job. And so that's something that you and I share in common. How would you say?
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people feel like, well, if I go on my own, I just find something to do. I was like, well, I mean, I feel like the skills are going to come before you even started. But a lot of people start businesses, but that's how my 10 shop started. I didn't have no skills. I just read a few books, read some videos, seen some videos on YouTube, and jumped at it.
Hey, well, some great stories have developed from similar stories just like that. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of time really perfecting something and really delaying the launch. You yourself, hey, let's just do it and let's figure it out as it goes. And a lot of stories come to fruition, and some great success out of beginnings just like that. So England Hall, great discussion today. I thank you so much for being with me on the program today. Founder of Freedom Chasers, an online community where entrepreneurs can get together and share ideas and share collaboration with one another. freedomchasers.org. So England, thank you so much for being with me on the program today.
Appreciate you, man.
And learn more at freedomchasers.org, and more about us at thatbusinessnetwork.com, where new episodes air each weekday morning at 9 a.m. And also find us on social media at facebook.com/thatbusinessshow. And you also find us on Twitter at thatbizshow. Please subscribe, please like, please connect with us, please leave a review. It helps the program grow and helps our message carry out to more and more people each and every day. So catch again new episodes each weekday morning, 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. And you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.